I want to share it, but I wanted to resume. I made a second, hit the wrong button. Okay, so I believe it is, you guys can still see my screen, and I think everything is a go here. So good evening. My name is Jacqueline Kabay Harrison. I am a confidence and success coach. I work specifically with African American women that have coaching and or consulting businesses. I help them to show up boldly, consistently, and with intention in their coaching and or consulting business, allowing them to not only increase their productivity, but to increase their profitability as well, okay? Because we know that consistency equals profitability, right? 9 times out of 10, people are not profitable in their business if they are not consistent. And usually there are a lot of different factors that go into being consistent, right? You know, and one of the huge factors is having a high level of self-confidence, having a clear vision, a clear goal, clear action steps, okay? But that's a whole nother training, if you will, okay? But I wanted to just go ahead and quickly draw the connection there. Okay, so this is, you have joined me for Evening Motivation with Jackie, which happens every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I stream live. Sometimes, this is something, I haven't done this in a while actually, the actual master class, but every time I stream live, I share valuable tools and techniques that can help you as a coach and or consultant be able to scale your business, right? Be able to begin to see the results that you want to see in your business this year and thereafter. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I share those different tools and techniques. So just kind of get accustomed to, if you do pop in, just make sure you have a pen and pad so you can just jot a couple things down. And also always comment, share, right? Tag a coach or a consultant, someone, you know, anyone that you even think they may be able to benefit from the message. Tag them, okay? And also share it out. Share this broadcast out, okay? So I wanted to mention that. And, you know, again, this is Evening Motivation with Jackie every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is actually part 3 this evening that we're going to be doing. And this is a masterclass that I created some time ago, actually. And it's actually titled How to Stop Making Excuses and Start Taking Action, right? How to stop making excuses and start taking action. I'm on here, y'all. I'm realizing this jacket right here. This is really bothering me. See, this is that whole, some of you that may have listened to me before, you know, I'm like a recovering perfectionist, and that's going to like really bother me. That's just a little, you know, one of them little quirky things about me. So, but at any rate, so this masterclass, like I said, I created this a while ago and just, you know, felt the need to kind of bring it out, and I'm doing it in 3 parts. So the first, well, let me see, today is Tuesday. So I started this last Tuesday. I did part 1 last Tuesday. Part 2 was last Thursday. And part 3 is today. Part 3 is today. I hope I'm recording this. I hit record. So let's just go back and just do a quick recap here. So again, how to stop making excuses and start taking action. Okay, so let me just scroll down here. And I know if you're on like a, you know, iPhone or iPad, you really won't be able to read this screen, because when I played the video back, I was like, whoa, that's really small. But, you know, you'd have to be on a laptop in order to really be able to, you know, read what's on the screen. Okay. So let's see. So the first part, we had talked about why do people make excuses, and that, you know, that's the purpose of this masterclass, is why do people make excuses, and to really be able to get at the underlying issues around that, okay? Because you have to, first of all, you have to identify it before you can even begin to put things in place in order to address it, to appropriately address it, so that it does not, interfere with your growth, with the growth of your business. Okay. So I talked about why some common reasons why people make excuses and about how people rationalize, right? Why they're not doing what they're doing. They come up with all kinds of reasons about why they didn't do this, why they didn't do that. And a lot of that is just to prevent those negative feelings, right, that are associated with not doing what you said you was going to do. You know what I mean? Because it's natural that if you make this big to-do list, you have all of these different things that you are trying to achieve, right? And if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And especially if you talk to people and tell people about it, right? And then you come up still, not doing it. You know what I mean? Or even just for yourself. A lot of times we may rationalize and, try to rationalize in terms of why we didn't do it. And I think the example I typically use, and just because it's easy, it's like right on the tip of my tongue, is that a lot of times when people don't go and work out, right, they know they have these goals of, getting physically fit, losing weight, and basically being more active in general. And when they don't do it, right, it usually results in things like, oh, well, I was tired, or I was just getting over a cold, or it was too cold outside, or, it was raining outside and I didn't want to get out there and all that rain and catch a cold, or I don't know, it was a very stressful day at work, whatever the case is, and we have a tendency to make excuses. Well, we're making excuses, but we're not only making the excuses, but we're rationalizing the excuses, right? We're not only making excuses about why we didn't do this or why we failed to do what we committed ourselves to doing, right? And then we begin to make excuses about it to rationalize it, to cut down on some of that, those negative feelings associated with not following through. Okay. So again, this part here was just saying you have very good intentions. However, you fail to take action. And sometimes it's conscious or unconscious. We tend to rationalize why we do certain things. We tend to rationalize why we do not do certain things to stop from feeling negative emotions associated with not following through. Okay. So then I mentioned during this particular master class, I was focusing on 3 common reasons people do not follow through. Okay. And again, not that these are the only reasons people don't follow through, right? But these are the most common ones that I've experienced, that I've come across, in my work, and as well as, with myself, So I had listed self-doubt. We covered that last Tuesday. Fear of failure. I covered that last Thursday. So the third one is the perfectionism piece. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier, right? About me being a recovering perfectionist. Being a recovering perfectionist, right? And, as I began to talk to other women, like, clients and other women that I've networked with, that I've, come across in this online space, I was flabbergasted at how prevalent this is. So many of us are overachievers and perfectionists. We like for stuff to be right, So that's why I put that one as the third one, because I realized that is like it's like a big one for a lot of people, for a lot of women in business. Okay. A lot of us high achievers, moving and shaking. And, when something is associated with our name, we want it to be right. Understandable, right? So today we're going to focus on perfectionism. So let's move down here. Okay, so this one that was the first one, self-doubt. Self-doubt continued, perfectionism. Okay. Now I'm going to say this, Instagram, I'm going to have to cut this video in a minute. So if you want to hear the full video where I go into talking more about perfectionism, then jump over to Facebook. Okay, jump over to Facebook and you will be able to see the video on my business page. Okay, Realizing Your Potential 1, 2, 3. All right, so go ahead and jump over and join me there. All right, good night, Instagram. Okay, so perfectionism. Sometimes we get caught up and become obsessed with the finished product being perfect, right? And especially if this is something new for you, if this is a new business venture, you are establishing your brand, and you are paying very close attention to what you're putting out there. And like I said, to what's actually being associated with your name, right? And that, that's very, very crucial. I mean, it's crucial, period. But especially I would think in the beginning, like when you're branding, you know, but what can happen is sometimes we can sit on things, like sit on maybe releasing our webinar or releasing our ebook, let's just say that we put together, or maybe launching a particular course. And we just kind of like sitting on it because we keep tweaking it and we keep modifying it, right? Let me change this, or let me change that, or that doesn't sound clear, or maybe that doesn't sound right, whatever the case is, right? And we just kind of run ourselves crazy with being so focused on that finished product, and that finished product being perfect, right? Got my water today. My mouth gets so dry. This time I got a little concoction. My son has the flu. My husband has a cold. I don't think it's the flu, but he has a cold. So my concoction is apple cider vinegar, ginger, lemon juice, cayenne pepper. Yeah, and I think that's everything. Apple cider vinegar, cayenne pepper, lemon juice, and ginger. My little concoction. To either try not to get sick or to lessen the symptoms, shorten the span of it. Okay, so we are literally chasing the idea of perfectionism, because perfectionism does not exist, right? Literally chasing that idea of perfectionism. Okay. So be honest with yourself about whether or not you are stalling by using the excuse that it must be perfect. And again, I know how important it is to put out a finished product. You want people to see it, and you want people to, stand up and take notice. You a lot of times in the beginning, especially in the beginning, you're establishing your credibility, and you want it to be perfect. You want everything to pop, the graphics, the wording, everything, right? But you have to realize that perfectionism doesn't exist. You could go over it, do this, do that, and still come up with something in the end that you're proud of. But then you look at it and be like, dang, oh, that don't make sense. Or why did I do that? Or that's not, I didn't use the right, I don't know, tense of that verb, or this part wasn't very clear. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, then you're like devastated, right? Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't believe I did it. Then you're so hard on yourself. And then it's like a vicious cycle, right? But chasing perfectionism, like when I say chasing perfectionism, again, that just means that nothing is perfect, right? Nothing is perfect. And to, as best you can, try to remove that from your frame of mind, your frame of reference, right? As much as possible. And again, it doesn't mean that you're not going to do the best that you can with the resources you have at that given time. Yes, you are. You are, and if you are very driven, you're very motivated, you're very passionate, that's going to come out, that's going to show anyway. Even if you aren't trying to make it show, it's going to show, right? So do the best that you can at that given time, but go in with the attitude that I'm going to make it better next time. You know what I mean? Because you're going to learn from it. You're going to learn from it. You're going to grow from it. You're going to learn from your own experiences, how you viewed how it turned out, the types of feedback you got from individuals, all of those things. And you're going to learn more, that they constantly updating programs. You might become introduced. You may link up with someone else, network with them, and, collaborate and change it up. You may just decide you want to do something different in terms of the structure, whatever the case is. Kind of get it through your mind that it's not going to be perfect, and that's not what we are desiring. We are not desiring for it to be perfect. We are desiring to put out a finished product, right? Professional, that is in line with who we are and our brand and so forth, but it's not going to be perfect. And that you are going to change it and modify, even if you did think it was perfect. Let's just say nothing's perfect, I believe. But even if you did feel that, 9 times out of 10, you're still gonna want to change or tweak something based on how you felt the flow of it was, or how people responded, or maybe something you learned, or whatever the case is, right? You're gonna modify it and change it. So get into the habit of just eliminating the whole idea of perfection, because it doesn't exist, right? And then, like I said, be honest with yourself. If you're stalling, right, saying, oh, I got to change this, or I got to change that, oh, it's not ready to launch, right? And only you know this, right? You have to be insightful, however you do that, whether you meditate, whether you journal, talk with your therapist, I don't know, whatever you do that allows you to really gain insight on, your behaviors and why you do what you do. Only you know that, right? Only you know the process that you do in order to get to that point. But to be real with yourself, and if you are stalling, take a look at that and really try to examine, well, first of all, identify that you are stalling, and then try to get to the root of it. Why are you stalling? What is the fear, right? What is the fear that is holding you back from letting go of it and actually putting it out there for the world to see, so to speak, right? Because it's like, it's like we're birthing something, and we're, it's almost like you push it out there in front of like this whole crowd of people, and then you snatch off the cover. You know what I mean? Like they do a drum roll, and you just like snatch off the cover, So it could, you're exposing yourself, so I understand that's a big deal. But as you do it more and more, it's going to get easier and easier. And again, you're going to realize that nothing is perfect. Okay, so let's see. Now I'm getting all these alerts. So whether you are stalling and using it as an excuse, or using that it must be perfect as an excuse, and I said realistically, if you find the whole concept of perfectionism continues to pop up, then chances are this concept is preventing you from moving forward. So let me say that part again. And then I'm going to sip my water and let it sink in. I said, if you find, like if you go back and you look at, your behavior when it comes to other products or services, or just your journey, your entrepreneurial journey, period. And if you find yourself where the whole idea of perfectionism keeps popping up, then 9 times out of 10, it's an issue, and it's preventing you from scaling your business in the way that you want to, as quickly as you want to, and, as effectively, right, as possible. So that may be something that you may need to take a look at. Okay. So begin telling yourself that perfectionism does not exist, and that you will be able to modify it at a later time. Okay. At a later time. Whew, and I know I had to, y'all just don't know. I mean, I have really been through it when it comes to perfectionism. So, I have definitely been there, done that. You know what? Okay. I'm looking at this. Like I said, I'm I'll be honest with you. I did this a while ago, and I haven't looked at it in a while, but I'm noticing something here. That's and you know what I'm thinking? I think that, can't believe I did this. But again, that's that perfectionism part. Everything has to be perfect. But I think that I think I mixed it up, because I have perfectionism as last here, but the slide was further up. but I want to make sure that I definitely cover everything. I know we covered self-doubt, but you know what? I don't know. I don't think we went over fear of failure though. Yeah. No, we didn't. Okay, so the other piece of the puzzle was the fear of failure. And I think I just got the one slide on that. Let me just make sure. Yep, I got the one slide on it. Okay, so I do apologize about that. I had to order a little off there, but the main 3 points is the self-doubt, fear of failure, and the perfectionism. We've covered self-doubt and we've covered perfectionism. I don't believe I went into fear of failure. So let me go over that one now. So fear of failure. So often we fail before we even start. Let me further explain. The one and only way to fail is to never try, right? Because a lot of times we get it all built up in our minds that, oh, I'm going to fail, or oh, this is not going to work out. And God forbid we mention it to somebody else that's definitely not on the same page, and they're speaking from a place of fear, and they get you all worked up. Oh, girl, how you going to do that? That ain't going to work. Da, da, da. You know, what if this, what if that, right? And we already had those thoughts anyway, and we just like take off running with that. You know what I mean? That whole thing, what if this, what if that? But the thing of it is, if you don't try, you won't know. You won't even know how it's going to go off. You're not even giving yourself an opportunity. You're not even giving yourself an opportunity. So you only fail if you don't try. Okay? You have to try. If it's important to you, if it's worth it, if this is truly your purpose, then you have to try. In order to achieve anything, you must first try. My motto is when I do something, there is no such thing as fear of failure. When you execute a plan, project, and or program, you will produce a result. As simple as that. You're going to produce a result. Just like a scientist in a lab. When they do, I don't know, 5 different experiments, with different, varying the variables, varying the factors, trying to see what the result is, they're doing an experiment. They're not attached to the outcome, but they know that they want to vary. They have an idea about these different variables and how they're going to play a role, how they're going to impact, the situation of what they're trying to figure out. And they set up 5 different experiments, and then they look at the results and they analyze it, right? So it's not a matter of something failed. It produced a result. It may not have been the desired result, right? It may not have been what they had anticipated or what they had speculated, right? Just like you launch a program, the results you get may not be what you anticipate or what you had hoped for, right? But it did produce a result. As simple as that, right? So getting it through your head that the only way you fail is to never try. And when you try something, whenever you execute a plan, whether it be a course, a webinar, I don't know, online summit, podcast, whatever the case is, it's going to produce a result, okay? It's going to produce a result. For every action, there is a reaction or a result. Now, this produced result may or may not be what you desire. Like I said earlier, may not be what you desire. So, after you examine your result or your results, you will know what modifications and or adjustments need to be made. Okay? So you have executed a plan, and executing that plan has created or produced a result. As simple as that. Not a success or a failure per se. And I know you've heard mindset coaches talk about reframing. I've had to reframe it as it's not a success or a failure per se, or it's not I reframed it. It's not a success or a failure. It produced a result. Either it's a result that I want to continue or want it to happen, or it didn't produce that result, right? So based on the result that it produced, I now have decisions to make. I now need to go back into the lab, modify the factors, or modify the, what do they call it? It's not factors, modify the, oh my God, I'm thinking about about a chemistry class. Go back in and modify whatever tools, techniques, software, right? Whatever, whatever, whatever factors, whatever controlled factors you utilize. Go back into the lab and tweak them, take out some, add some, modify some, and run that experiment again. Execute that plan again. And same thing will happen. You will produce a result. Either it's more towards to what you wanted to produce, or stayed the same, or further away from what you wanted to produce. But nonetheless, you have still produced a result, something which you can analyze and review and go over and tweak. As simple as that, right? So, so again, make modifications and adjustments. Each time you modify your plan of action, it will bring you closer and closer to your desired result. Some people do something, I don't know, maybe on the third try, they become, they begin to produce whatever it was, what their long-term goal was, or what they had really anticipated or had hoped for. Some people it may take 5 or 6 times. Some people it may take, 20 times, whatever the case is, whatever the situation is, right? Everything varies. There's all different variables, but the point of it is, keep in mind that every time you do something, you have produced a result. You have taken action, right? You've taken action utilizing or performing the best possible way that you could at that time with all of the available resources you had, right? And what you knew at that time. You made the best possible decision. You produced the best possible result or executed the best possible plan, right? You did the best that you could at that time. It's not perfect. You acknowledge it's not perfect. There are going to be adjustments that need to be made, modifications, and that's okay. That's what you expect, right? And you get into the habit of taking consistent, intentional action, right? Executing that plan. And in order to be able to do that, you have to reframe that whole idea of fear of failure. It is not failing. It's just producing a result. You're producing a result. Simple as that. And I'm telling you, once I really kind of got a hold of that, and it didn't happen overnight, it's something I had to practice. It made the world of a difference in my business. I'm telling you, a world of a difference. And and in my personal life too, my personal and professional life. Okay, so let me go ahead and wrap up. Holding yourself accountable is a necessity. So this is the ending piece of it. Ending piece, but an important piece, holding yourself accountable. So one, it was be mindful of the people you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with other positive, like-minded individuals that also believe in taking consistent, intentional action. And I don't care if it's face-to-face, if it's family or friends, or if it's an online community or online communities, right? I don't care. Surround yourself with like-minded people that are constantly taking action. Create a feasible step-by-step action plan for yourself and stick to it. And again, like I said, that's a whole nother subject in terms of like effective goal setting. But I still have to mention it here, although I'm not, like I said, I do recognize, or want you to recognize that that's a whole separate training, whole separate masterclass. Be clear about your why. You must be very clear about your reason or reasons for wanting to achieve a particular goal. Because remember, the clearer you are, right, the more you can draw upon that for to keep you motivated. And when you're motivated, you're going to be consistent, right? So remember, be clear about that why, because when you are very clear about that why, you know it, boom, 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 you get up every day, you see it, you say it, you recite it 2 or 3 times a day, however much it takes, right? Knowing what that why is and being clear about that why is going to help you stay motivated. And when you stay motivated, you're going to be more consistent. When you're more consistent, you're going to be able to see more results in your business, right? In terms of more of an influx of clients, increasing your target audience and so forth, right? Okay. And then reward yourself along the way for sticking to your plan and consistently taking action. So those small wins, celebrate it. I don't care. I did a live tonight. I didn't feel like it, but I did it. I did 20-minute live. I did it. Let me celebrate. Let me go do a happy dance, right? I wrote a page or two for my ebook, or I came up with I don't know, an agenda for my upcoming summit, my upcoming conference. Whatever the case is, celebrate your small wins along the way, right? Reward yourself. In this case, reward yourself for being consistent, reward yourself for consistently taking action, you know, and reward yourself for actually tackling or putting those effective strategies in place that you've actually utilized one by one at one time or another to effectively address those, the perfectionism and the fear of failure and self-doubt. Okay, reward yourself. Whenever you catch yourself, whenever you are aware of it, you catch yourself and you come up with you execute your plan or your strategies. Let me say that. You begin to work your strategies or work your program to effectively address that negative self-talk that comes up. Reward yourself for it. Reward yourself for it. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and end there. Talking about end there, that's the end. Okay. So again, share it out, tag a coach or consultant. And I hope you got something out of this. So at any rate, I'm Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. I am a confidence and success coach. I help African-American women that are coaches and or consultants, help them to create effective strategies to help them address all of that negative self-talk as well as those self-sabotaging behaviors that we know that creep up and prevent us and hinder us, right, from growing our business in the way that we want to. And I also want to say, I meant to announce this earlier, but I also am in the process of planning the next A Queens Roundtable Quarterly Symposium, which is going to happen in May. The target date is May 17th. Now that may be adjusted a little bit, just because depending on the amount of speakers that I end up having, okay? But I am working on putting that together now. I'm in the process of taking applications for that. So if that is something you are interested in, if you want to, go before, you want to increase your audience, you want to go before other people's audiences, you want to network, you want to maybe get some experience, maybe you want to, try a particular master class out and, see what type of response you get from it. Whatever the case, you just want to showcase your brilliance, right? You want to show up. You want to show up and you want to be consistent in delivering your message, right? This is a good opportunity to do that. Okay. Like I said, you're going to be, it's an online virtual summit. You're going to be with a lot of other trend-setting, powerful other African-American women that are, rocking it out in their business and that they are serious about what they do. They are brilliant and, really, really, really have it going on in terms of their business. Okay. They really know their niche and everything about their target audience, and they're making it happen. So this is a good opportunity to learn and grow from other entrepreneurs as well as do some networking, and make those connections. You never know, you may want to collaborate with someone in the future, whether it's just like a joint venture, whether it's another summit, whether it be online, whether it be in person, whatever the case is, right? You never know who you're going to run into and who you're going to meet and how you may be able to work with that person in the future. And or someone may see you and they may want you to come and speak at one of their events, so you never know. But it's so extremely important to network. So A Queens Roundtable Quarterly Symposium, I am now taking speakers for this event. It's an online, virtual online event. It's going to take place tentatively May 17th. And, let me know. I'm going to, include the link as well. And you just fill out the speaker's application. Make sure you answer all the questions. And that gives me an opportunity to be able to look at it and just to, make sure that you are a good fit for the summit. And I am accepting applications for, I'm trying to find it here real quick. I didn't have it pulled up. For the following areas, it is going to be personal development, mindset, mental, physical, spiritual health, and business development and business strategies for small businesses. So if you have something that you know, you're a coach or consultant and you fall under one of those categories, and you'll be able to give some valuable information to other coaches and consultants out there that are maybe just starting their business, or maybe they've been in business for, I don't know, 4 to 5, 6 years, and they want to, you know, sharpen their skills, and they want to really begin to skyrocket their business. So if you know you have tools and techniques to offer to them to help inspire them, you know, encourage them, support them, and educate them on how to be able to take their business to the next level, then please join us. All right. So with that being said, I am out for tonight. Thank you again. And again, tag a coach, share the video out, okay? And definitely leave me some comments to let me know what you thought, or if you had any other questions, or if it's something else that you might have wanted me to touch on, you know, just give me some feedback. That's so much appreciated. Okay, again, we learn as we go, right? We modify and we adjust. All right. Why am I throat so dry tonight, y'all? All right, so let me stop the share right quick. All right, there we are. There we are. Okay, okay, okay. All right, Facebook, good night, good night, good night. And I will talk to you ladies again on Thursday. All right, good night, everybody.